on our meter readings. We've had challenges, of course, with COVID. We've lost a lot of our staff because of that, and we had a lot of people retire, and so it put us in a position to where we were strained with our meter readings. That resulted in us having to estimate some routes. We were behind on getting people their bills, but I'm happy to say that recently we had a career fair back in March, and it was very successful. We were able to hire a number of meter readers and other staff members, and so we are back on track with getting back on track, I would say. And we are preparing an update for the public soon, but I'm really happy about that. The boots are on the ground. They're training right now. It takes several weeks to get everyone up to par, but we're really excited about that. And so in the middle of us doing this, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that we haven't shut off water for anyone during this time, because it's been a lot of confusions with what to pay, how much to pay, and we just want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with what we're doing. And so in the meantime, we are not shutting off water. We will give the public a good enough notice to when we start back collecting. Just a few other things. Of course, we're all excited about the World Games. We have a really big footprint with the World Games coming up, and so a lot of information will be going out with what we're doing with the World Games throughout the time. And I had a chance to speak with the Citizens Advisory Board last month with their meeting about our Wiser Water program. This is a program that we geared towards our senior citizens, just teach them basic things about how to read your meter, what to expect with your billings, questions about hydration, health. We passed out flappers, toilet flappers, to teach them how to conserve on water bills. And so we are doing this all year long. This year is usually a seasonal program, but we want to really expand our outreach. So we ask any of you, if you have neighborhood meetings or any seniors that are gathering at community centers, we'd be glad, more than happy to come out and speak with them, answer any questions they may have about health and hydration. So that's all for now. Thank you
very much. Dr. O'Quinn, did you have any questions or comments for the water work? Nothing. I do want to say we do thank you. I know we do get periodically your updates on projects as they may affect each of our districts. I know that's very helpful to us. I did want to just take this opportunity. You have one of your staff members that worked very close with our office, Ms. Anitra Hendricks. I believe she has been promoted to another position. So I do want to say on behalf of District 7, and I think all of the council members that have ever worked with any issues that we had for our residents, she was always very helpful, always on time, was very good, was giving us feedback. And so we are delighted to have the new representative that will be working with us. But I just wanted to go on record and thank her for the service that she performed for the residents. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Actually did have a question. So I don't know how many mains replacement projects you guys are doing across the city. I know that Fountain Heights is the neighborhood who's currently being impacted for my district. Can you provide any updates on the progress of those projects?
Thank you. We have a few projects going on right now. Fountain Heights is one of the bigger ones. So just to kind of back up a little bit, the board invested about $30 million this year with main replacement. Aging mains is a big problem for us in this area. It causes a lot of main breaks. Some of the pipe in the ground are over 100 years old, and that's why we see a lot of this going on. So we have several projects on deck. What we try to do is make sure that we get that information out to each district ahead of time to pass that along to the residents, because there's a lot of phases that come along with replacing mains. Of course, the work has to be done. Sometimes streets are blocked off. A big part of that, Counselor, is the temporary pavement that may cause issues for those residents. But that temporary pavement has to sit there for a while before we can go back and replace. The big message we want people to know is that we will replace the area back to its original form, if not better than before the work started. A lot of questions have come up about water pitchers, because in lead and copper service, lead is a big thing going across nationwide. One of the educational pieces that we're doing is passing out information about lead replacement. It's not saying that necessarily lead is in your water system, but as a precaution, because you have mains that are in the ground so long, we want to take extra steps to make sure that you're well educated about lead. And so we're passing out water filter pitchers and things like that for those residents that we are doing that type of work in the area. So I will say that we're coming to a little bit of a pause, but the work that I sent out information on is all on schedule. There may be a few delays, but we're on track and we're going full force. We're trying to get as close to that $30 million as possible. Our goal is to make sure that we are really going in and replacing those pipes before an issue arrive. One last little thing, I'm sorry. With leaks, we have a new initiative called See a Leak Speak. So we'll see all of those signs will be going up in different communities. And it's basically saying that if you see water trickling out of the ground, say something about it, speak. The water system is a little bit different from some of the other utilities because it's not electronic. We have to really have word of mouth, and we really lean on our residents and our customers to tell us about issues that's going on. So if you see water coming out of the ground, just let us know, and we'll put that on the docs to make sure that it's fixed as well. So we are on schedule with all of our projects that we were sent out. Some take longer than others.
Very much. Anything else on that? Thank you very much. We appreciate that update again. And let me ask, when you have these upgrades that are coming up, how do you make residents aware, and what's the timing of that?
Very good. So we definitely utilize social media. We encourage everyone to join us on one of our platforms, Facebook, Twitter, especially Nextdoor is a big one. We post our website. We want to make sure that we're doing things like this, have conversations with the community, the city leaders. But also, we just got this new tool for our website that you can go on our site and click on from our homepage our upcoming and ongoing projects. And what that would do, it gives you an interactive map to where it goes directly. If your house, all the way to your address, if your house is going to be impacted by one of these projects, it'll let you know, and it'll give you an estimation of the time that we'll be doing the project, the cost that the board is spending on the project, and any delays or anything else that you need to know. And so we're really proud about enrolling that. And of course, we have customer service, so if you have any questions, just give us a call.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that update. Next, Jefferson County Sewer. Yes, ma'am, that's you.
I just wanted to announce, as you are all aware, John Crenshaw was normally the person that was contact for Jefferson County Environmental Services. He has retired. We're currently looking to see who will be actually joining these meetings. My name today is Emily Kemp. I'm Chief Civil Engineer over the Impact Office. I've brought Charlie Benson with me. He is one of our senior supervisors over the Impact Office. I would like to apologize and say I don't have a formal presentation of what's going on. This is, my first meeting, but I am more than happy to take any type of notes, any questions. If I can answer them, I will get back to you in regards to that.
Okay. So actually on Thursday, last Thursday, the mayor and the council had a retreat. And during that retreat, stormwater was a big topic of conversation. And how that relates to you is we've got a lot of stormwater issues. A lot of our infrastructure, like our water mains infrastructure and a lot of the other infrastructure, is ancient. Recently, I've had multiple constituents contact me and say, hey, there is sanitary sewer overflows, very unpleasant images, as you might be able to imagine. I say that to say that we are very much energized around trying to improve our stormwater infrastructure. The scale of that is actually massive. Everybody that we have spoken with can't really put a price tag on it, but they're pretty confident that there's probably about 9 zeros behind it. Because our stormwater infrastructure has an impact on Jefferson County sewer, when our stormwater overflows and we have flooding, it causes problems for Jefferson County sanitary sewers. So I just want to make the proposal that as the city of Birmingham moves forward in trying to address our side of the equation, the stormwater side, we would very much appreciate the county's support in helping us, or at least advocating with us to fix those issues, because our problems are causing you guys problems. So if we can fix our problems, then you guys don't have problems. You following me? Yeah, at least, the portions of the problems that we're responsible for. It's my understanding that there hasn't exactly been, stellar cooperation between the city and the county, and with regard to stormwater and sanitary sewer in the past. But at least from my perspective, and I think this council's perspective, we want to work with you guys to help. We're trying to fix our own problems, but I think as we do that, it's going to lessen the number of complaints that you all have to deal with. So, did I capture the sentiment there?
Yes, you did. And the reason I handed the mic immediately to Dr. Quinn, I know that we met together, and so I wanted to be sure that we expressed to you just the thoughts of the council and the mayor of how we would like to make that make a sort of our solution together, because we were just listening to some of our engineers. As the system exists for itself, it could be we have a problem in this section that may affect what you're doing in another section, that all work together. And we don't want to push the slush your way, and we don't want you to push it our way, if I could say it that way. So in the spirit of cooperation, we are asking. And just for our residents, we do need them to know that we will have, the mayor is hosting a town hall Thursday at 5:30, and the only topic for that town hall will be our stormwater and talking about the flooding that we're having in our city. And so this would be a continuation of that dialogue. It's actually a way to start the assessment of the problem by having the residents to be a part of that discussion. So we thank you for any cooperation, Dr.
Yeah, so just to follow up, for anyone who may be watching, I know it's confusing. Your water is handled by one, entity. The stormwater is another entity. The stuff that goes down the toilet is handled by another entity, and I know it's confusing. So just so you know, Birmingham Water Works, handles the clean water that's coming into your house in the pipe. City of Birmingham is responsible for all of the stormwater infrastructure, and it's Jefferson County Commission that is responsible for the stuff that goes down the toilet. So when people are experiencing these types of issues, the overflows, how do they report that?
Well, if it is a sanitary sewer overflow, we have a 24-hour hotline. The phone number is 205-942-0681. You will call that number. You will report your address. We will get maintenance facilities out there. they will report the issue. And when there is an overflow, we have to turn around and we have to report that to ADEM. So those need to be documented as best as they possibly can. If you're not sure if it's storm or sanitary, go ahead and call. We'll get somebody out and we'll determine, if it should, be directed to the jurisdictional storm water department or if it should actually come to us. And then to follow up, sanitary sewer overflows, we've had issues with that for years. At the point in time that Jefferson County took over all of the city, all the municipalities' sanitary sewer systems, we ran across quite a few what would be considered combined sanitary sewer storm systems. Under the direction of the EPA, those had to be removed. So there are no more, should be no more. Everything that we have discovered at this point in time has been taken care of. Now, I can't say with 100% certainty that there's not something somewhere. However, that's our number one goal. Our biggest concern, of course, is what we call I&I, which is called inflow and infiltration, which is the stormwater that, is coming into the sanitary sewer. And unfortunately, during heavy rain events, that's when the majority of it occurs. So we are more than willing. We've had a rehabilitation program for the sanitary sewers that's been going on since the early 2000s. We still bid out work in regards to that, and we are more than happy to work with you all collectively, look in our area, see what projects we may have going on, and compare that to what you're going to be doing stormwater wise, because yes, you are correct, it does benefit all of us in regards to that. So
I guess the best analogy was what Dr. O'Quinn has given us. I'm clear on that now. How about you all? So thank you, Dr. O'Quinn. And thank you so much. We appreciate the update. And again, just looks how we work together, and getting the information that you've shared with us will be very beneficial to us as well. All right, next we'll have AT&T.
Thank you. I'm Terry Williams with Legislative and External Affairs for AT&T Alabama. I guess since we've met, I can give a very clear definition of our company, since some changes have been made since we've been able to speak like this. We are very concentrated on two portions of our business, and that's wireline and wireless. That's going to be fiber deployment services to get to homes and residents. So you'll see a lot of our capital investment geared towards that. There's a lot of movement federally, statewide, on initiating those subsidies to areas that are not being served with internet. Or underserved, and there's speeds and whatnot that come all with that. But our state legislature has worked this past session to really make it very progressive to help subsidize and getting every different type of provider to get service to folks. As far as AT&T Alabama, and let's just, of course, talk about Birmingham. We've got so much investment in the area of residents and businesses that will be your business of really fast technology. We're up to 5 gig up and down. So if, I think we can pretty much do anything we want to at home and businesses to communicate. And, a lot of these good things there's always good that comes out of different things. And this is one thing of our whole country when it comes to the pandemic. And I believe we all feel like we're really getting to a normal spot in our lives. We had a very large gathering yesterday with the BBA, and it was, I think we all could just feel the sense of we're together again and we're not worrying about things. But it was nice to see so many familiar faces so we can start telling our story. I think we're all Zoomed, exhausted. So if I call you for a meeting and you said, hey, call me, or let let's do this virtually, I'll say no. I'm going to come see you. I will hunt you down. Then I'll just mention one thing major to Birmingham to give you an idea of what AT&T is doing is the World Games. And I just came under the sign that said 79 days. And really right now there's a big across-the-board network meeting that takes place each week. And I said, y'all get all the information for me because I'll be here instead. But we have had over 90 projects since the beginning of just network, individual projects of feeding fiber to as backhaul, some redundancy or new services. We've done so much with venues, indoors, like your Boutwell and your Crossplex, those different types of scenarios, getting backup and dollars spent for Legion Field. So protective, BJCC. So there's just so much. And it's been a very progressive thing to be able to each meeting go, what's in jeopardy, what's not. Everything's about time in this. And I think Birmingham and everyone else was fortunate in a way to have a pandemic that kind of gave us a little bit more time to get Birmingham ready. So it's our job to make Birmingham look good and to make Alabama look good, and I will say our team has really stepped up to make sure all the visitors and the participants in all of these events will clearly have a great technical experience. So thank you.
Very much. We appreciate that update, and we are very excited again that we can all gather together again. Dr. O'Quinn, did you have any questions for AT&T?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask briefly, just like very high level, can you just speak to 5G deployment?
I can to a point where 5G, there's so many levels of to get to 5G and exactly what's on that. That is part of our deployment for World Games. So again, that meeting I have right now would give me a little bit of more timing on when that switch will be turned on. So that's part of that. You'll hear millimeter waves and all different kinds of opportunities like that. So no, I don't have details. If you don't mind, let me, that is information that I am to be finding out. Fortunately, I'm not a messenger. So I need to go to the people that are checking that list off, and I'll follow up with you.
Thank you very much. Next is Verizon, and I believe we have Justin Tanner is with us virtually. And Justin, are you there? Hello, yes, good afternoon. Hey, Justin, we would just like to thank you for joining us today. We know you're still meeting with us virtually, but if you could just give us any updates you have about Verizon, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you. Oh, he froze. I thought for a minute. Almost there. Well, I know they're working to try to rectify our technical difficulty. And I know sometimes we all know how technology has been, right? But you know what? Today we haven't had to say yet. What? You're on mute. You're on mute. We haven't had to say that. All right, see back. Kim. Yes, you are. Go ahead. All right. You were just telling us you had solved the problem about some of the deployment, I think, with one of your subcontractors.
Very closely with transportation. Digital kind.
I almost made it. That's okay. Yes, now we can.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you will share that with me, and I'll be sure to get that out to the other counselors, and we'll make that information available through our site. So thank you very much. Councilor Quinn, did you have any questions for Mr. Tanner?
I just wanted to thank Mr. Tanner for bringing up the issue of with the Firebird deployment project. I know there are in particular some sidewalks that were disrupted for the installation of that fiber, and I was going to ask when we were going to be able to get our sidewalks fixed, but I'm glad that's being addressed. Mr. Tanner, how should citizens can citizens assist in reporting some of the locations of where those issues are, or there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Terry Williams, AT&T Alabama. With all the talk about the work and deployment and people doing construction, one thing that my network jokingly said, it would be great to halt all construction and digging during the World Games because of the interruption to service that it can cause. And we all deal with that. So I just want to be the first to say, the minute any counselor hears, any assistants here that are called in to the city, my service is out, something's up during the World Games. I mean, this goes for any day, but the sooner we know, the quicker we can all get to that and repair it so it's seamless. And I will say our group does a great job of trying to make it seamless before too many people know. So if you hear, we're ready to repair.
Well, thank you. And I do want to just say to each of you, I think even before the World Games, you all have been very receptive to any issues or concerns that we have sent your way to each of you as providers. So I know we want to be sure nothing goes wrong with the World Games, but we want to appreciate what you've been doing before they're coming to us too for our residents. So thank you. Next we'll have, and thank you, Justin. We appreciate you for joining us virtually. Next we have Spire. We have our people in orange here today, so come on and give it to us.
I'm Brian Rotenberry, and it's nice to see everybody in person. It's been, But I do want to talk to you a little bit about the projects that we're doing in the city. But also, we are a corporate sponsor of the World Games, and so very excited. So one of the things that we're actually doing in anticipation for that, and Councilor O'Quinn, we're definitely working in Fountain Heights. But I have some good news for you. We are at the very end of our project. When I say that, the last thing that we have to do before the project concludes is we have to swap all of the services over the customers' meters to our new facilities. Those were finishing up last week, so they are ready, and we're getting close to retiring that project. All of the restoration has been completed. And that's yard restoration, and also, as the Waterworks has reported earlier, we actually have to patchwork that as well before full road restoration can take place. So we have a settlement period with the city, so we actually have to have that in place before that restoration can take place. So that was our biggest goal this year, was to make sure that we had these things done coming out of spring. So Aldott, I know, was working closely to repave that area, so hopefully that's going to be in a position. Sometimes I feel like when we get a project that we're really trying to get it finished on a deadline, we may not take a little bit of the time that we need to maybe talk to some of the constituents and actually the things. But I do have information on a lot of projects, and I've got it I'm going to give to you. But a couple of other projects that we're doing, and I'm going to let Miss Veronica Cole tell you about what we do prior and during a project to communicate with the constituents. We have several. One of the things that we're real proud for we're doing is we've actually finished a downtown Inslee replacement. So what we did is we know that there's a lot of potential for growth. I think there's a new police headquarters that's scheduled to go there. So we've actually went in and replaced all the lines in that infrastructure, and I actually have it in a position so as that area grows that there will be a lot of opportunity for gas. We're working on that. We're actually working on a large project that is called our header mains. So a lot of these areas, as Ronnie is actually bringing up, is 100 years old. So a lot of our larger diameter pipe, it's like 16 inches in diameter. We're working on replacing a lot of it over off Graymont Avenue, close to Birmingham Southern and Legion Field in that area. So it's going extremely well. But anytime we have a project going on, we have officers there. We try not to shut down roads. We try to make sure that we keep lanes of traffic open. But we do a lot of hard work trying to communicate with everyone prior to that. And that's what Miss Veronica's, her job is. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to bring her in and let her just tell you what we do when we start a replacement project to get our word out.
Hi, I'm Veronica Cole, and I'm a customer service coordinator at Spire. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the communication that we do for our customers. So as we begin a project, and I bought some handouts just so you guys can see, our inspectors will actually go around and put this on the door, and it just says, here come the updates. And once you open it up, it has a lot of questions that the customers, may have, and it gives them a lot of information about what we're going to be doing and what they should be seeing in the area. But also, we also just want to make sure that we have do an outbound call. So there's a recorded message that goes to each customer, letting them know that we're coming to their area. So it's great to always have an updated phone number. I know sometimes you don't want to give that updated, but things like this is good when you have an updated phone number to know what's going to be happening in the area. But even that, we make sure that we have signs out at the streets so that anyone that's coming in the area that may not have gotten one of these, they know that Spire is working in the area. So after you get this on your door, you're going to get that phone call. And then also, we got to have something orange. So we're going to send you an orange postcard that's also going to say, here come the updates. So that's just another reminder that, hey, we're going to be in the area working. And so that's what you're going to see. Now, once it's all over and we start restoring those yards and the streets, we're going to come back again and do another phone call to let you know that everything is complete. But if you have any questions, it's going to give you the phone number, and it's also going to direct you to the website. And again, can't go wrong without another postcard. So we're going to send another orange postcard just to let you know that we're finishing the area. Now, during that process, like Brian stated, that we have to move the gas meter over to the new service. We have a door hanger for that as well. So just in case someone is not home and their service is interrupted, we have a door hanger letting them know. And also on the back is going to have a phone number. So when they call that number, that's considered an emergency. So we're going to get someone out to restore the service. So we have a lot of communication that we're doing. We have a phone number, and we're trying to just make sure that the customers know that we're here. And if you have any complaints or any questions, we're going to get someone back out there to take care of it.
I want to add that one of the things that we really pride ourselves is actually the numbers on here go to us, to our group. So we actually have Stacy Doss, who has been to the meeting with me. She communicates with the residents, and we try to do that on it's as quick as we get that. Actually, Councilor Quinn, I actually got some information from your assistant here a couple of weeks ago. So Stacy reached out to Ms. Lyons with the Neighborhood Association. Been corresponding backwards and forth with her about our progress, but hopefully the information, and sometimes I will give you a little example. I saw where they'd actually been marking the lines prior to us doing the work, and I said, did you get a postcard? She said, I did. And I said, well, what did you do with it? She said, well, it's in there in the stack of mail. And I said, well, did you read it? So she got it, and she said, is this the one you're talking about? I said, yeah. So and she said, oh God, it says they're going to dig in my yard. So again, we put these things out, but we're always have boots on the ground and have people in the areas to hopefully talk to these customers. Hopefully we can establish a good relationship with them while we're out there.
Those updates, and I didn't know if Councilor Quinn had any comments. I know he's had some residents that have issues in Fountain Heights. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so appreciate you guys providing that summary about the notification. It seems very thorough. So I know as far as the actual construction, that's often a subcontractor that's out there doing that work. As far as the different forms of notification, I would imagine that's coming from corporate, right? It's actually coming from Spire and not from the subcontractor, correct? Okay. I don't know. I mean, so I'll just reiterate some of the concerns from the community. I don't know exactly where the breakdown in communication happened, but residents contacted us saying, I came home from work today and my gas was cut off, and quote, I didn't get any notification. So, I don't know if the postcard is in the stack of mail on the, sitting on the countertop or what's going on there. So, I don't know how to solve that issue. I just want to make you aware that it's, especially in Fountain Heights, like you mentioned, I'm sure Ms. Lyons has made you abundantly aware. But I just wanted to speak up on behalf of my constituents and let you know that's a concern.
We want to treat every customer or every resident, even if they're a gas customer or not, with complete respect and to the thing. But one of your concerns, and I'm going to dive a little deeper into this, Councilor Quinn, is the meter changeover is actually by our internal crews. So when they actually swap that meter over, if there's nobody home, they normally try to make contact, and a lot of times they'll even call if they have a number on their account. But if they're not there, when the temperatures warm up, like it's coming out of the winter season now, if the temperatures are in the 40s, we don't change a meter over unless they actually there's somebody there. But when it starts to warm up, a lot of times we repeatedly go out to try to change those services over. And if we can't get anybody there, they actually will swap and do the work, and they'll leave them a note. And I will check in to see if those mechanics, they can go back and see if they were actually leaving those notes. When they experience this, they should leave a note on the door for the resident when they come back. Hopefully that's helping, but yes, that gives me a great opportunity to go back and look at our process, because we spend a lot of effort in putting our notices and those things along, but there's definitely flaws sometimes that we can actually work on. But we'll definitely dive into that and see what we can come up with.
Yes.
Take some weight off of Spire, because I think we all kind of go through that. And I was jotting down how many door hangers and how many postcards you guys do. We do the same thing when we enter, and we put signs outside in the neighborhood to show what we're doing. And there is a disconnect that's very hard without actually going and knock on the door and getting somebody while they're there. Ours looks a lot, well, this is my opinion, looks more of a marketing piece. Y'all's really go straight to what it is, but we have all that information on there, and we do get the same types of calls. We had no idea. One thing that we do as a suggestion is we have a list of all the area neighborhoods and the associations, and I know I got a list from you of the communities, and they've got a list of all the presidents, and that you can just call to say heads up or email something to them. And you may already be doing that, but I understand that frustration, and that's just a way to say I have done, but y'all have really y'all have done very well. Thank you.
Oh, did you have a follow-up, or did you want to say something?
We could get that neighborhood association. That would be great. And if it has an address, Veronica can actually send them a notice to the neighborhood association.
Had to forward that information to you. Isola's taking that note down, and we can drive it down from the community to the neighborhood president. So you've got two layers there of communication. So, and I also might tell you, if you've got a big project going, the Citizens Advisory Board, they do meet on, I think that is, what is that, the third Monday at 6:30, and so that's where you could get all of your community presidents there at that meeting, and the same one. And so that's a large project or something that you know that's going to be impacting a huge amount of residents. You may want to make note to make that information available then, but we will get you that list. Thank you all. This has been very helpful. It's also helpful to me just to see there are tons of communication that you're providing, and then just to hear what Auntie is doing there, and she put that piece of paper up under there, so that can happen sometimes. Thank you very much. I don't believe we have anyone here from traffic engineering. We didn't have anyone on the line for that, correct? Okay, so now we'll let Ms. Sullins, are you going to give us two for Alabama Power?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is LaShonda Blair Sullins. I go by Blair, which is easier for everybody unless you can pronounce my first name correctly. But I recently joined Birmingham Division. Am I up now? You guys can hear me. I'm so sorry. Did you guys hear me before? Okay. Okay, so again, my name is LaShonda Blair Sullins, and preferably I go by Blair because it's easier for everybody. But like I said before, if you can pronounce my first name correctly, then we're good to go. I recently joined Birmingham Division about 5 months ago, and although I'm not new to the company, or excuse me, I'm new to Birmingham Division, I'm not new to the company. I've been with the company over 18 years, having transitioned from the charitable giving arm of our company, focusing specifically on providing technical assistance and project management opportunities to cross-functional teams, nonprofits, and municipal organizations. And so in my current role, I'm community development specialist responsible for special projects. So whatever Ralph Williams and Mila Calhoun needs for me to do, that's what I do. But I'm going to lean on my teammate who's on the call virtually, Julian Grant, to provide an update from Alabama Power.
We can hear you.
So as it relates some of our cost estimate to them. Already outside of the 99. As partners to us in terms of then after they told the adult. The last update that last Friday.
Well, thank you so much. We do appreciate those, Mr. Grant, and we're always excited to hear about anything that can improve our parks and give us more lighting. And I know that Councilor Quinn and I were in our meeting with the mayor last week, and so the cameras were part of the topic of discussion for us, and they gave us some updates. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that, Dr. Quinn?
Hey, Julian. Can you repeat the parks that were in your second round of consideration for a second round lighting project? Okay. I would very much, this is Counselor for District 5 speaking to you here, so, but since I happen to be on the Utilities Committee and we're in this conversation, I just want to, I can't let the opportunity slip away. So back in the early, like 2008, the city did two big park initiatives. We did Railroad Park, of course, which is a little bit of a different entity, but we also did Avondale Park and Crestwood Park. Those Crestwood and Avondale were represented about $6 million of investment in refurbishing those parks. Crestwood Park, all of the lighting is no longer operable currently. So I've been getting feedback, significant amount of feedback, actually, going back to early in my first term about the lighting in that park. I would very much appreciate if you guys could do an evaluation there, and even if it's just an estimate to my individual office, for a potential discretionary project, that's something that I am very interested in. So I just had to put that out there, that Crestwood Park it is a destination park that's utilized by a lot of people, not just in the city of Birmingham, but people who come in from outlying areas. So the lighting issue is something that I'm very interested in addressing. So I just wanted to put a plug in, and if you guys could help me get some idea of what that project's going to cost, I would certainly, put it on my list of considerations. So there is no athletic field lighting. It's just walking path lighting and just general lighting. And I know Mr. Brundage is very aware of this. He's actually been engaging with members of the community to address some of the issues there at Crestwood Park, in particular the lighting. So he should, know exactly what you're referring to when you inquire with him.
Great.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. O'Quinn. And I'm sure they'll be sure to follow up with the request to get that specific information. And glad to hear of these other parks that are part of your next round wave of lighting upgrades. So thank you. Next, we have Crown Castle.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Chairwoman Alexander. I'll keep it brief, but for those of you who don't know, Crown Castle is actually a shared wireless infrastructure company, both fiber, towers, and small cells. We have a long-standing relationship and deployment of all three of those assets here in Birmingham, so appreciate that. I'll be bringing you probably more updates, better updates at forthcoming meetings, but we are in the process of gearing up to expand our network in West Birmingham. So we've been meeting with staff, great meetings, getting into the permitting phase. We have all our, obviously, agreements in place with Birmingham, but as the hub was actually in Fairfield, we had to work on getting an agreement there, franchise agreement, obviously to backhaul everything back to that tower. So that was, took a little while, but we've gotten that all resolved. So we're now moving on and hopefully have better updates for you at future meetings. So thank you.
Appreciate that update. Last but not least, we'll have Mr. Robert Smith with Spectrum. Hello.
So normally I was having the last thing between you and dinner, you and happy hour, wherever you're going. So let me move this forward. A couple of things. We've not met much since the pandemic, and one thing we found out during the pandemic, we all have, that we're all very valuable to the people that we serve. You're at home 24 hours a day. You want those lights on. You want that water working. You want to make sure that sewer is working properly, and all the other things. Well, we found out TV and internet is just as important. Of course, my constituents have the same thing. But we found out that there are a lot of opportunities to find out the haves and have-nots in society. And we found out there are more have-nots than haves in different capacities. So I want to show you two things. For the state of Alabama, I've been working on a project called RDOF, Rural Digital Opportunity Funding, which is actually allowing us to build broadband into the black belt. And if you could ever do anything to help anybody in the world, if you can help the black belt, you can sleep good at night. We're working on doing that. Here in the city of Birmingham, we're proud to say that during the pandemic and with extended usage and expanded usage, we never experienced any kind of system failure. Broadband failure, TV failure, network failures, and those are pretty things we're pretty proud of. We're going to continue to work on our network, continue to harden those networks to make sure that they're delivering services at any and all time. And Councilwoman, we've all been reached out to for various areas in your district. I think we responded as quickly as we possibly could. We're again proud of that. One thing that I wanted to share, and I know briefly, we got involved with the FCC's Affordable Connectivity Program, and of course many broadband providers know what that means. The government provided an opportunity to pay approximately up to $30 of credit monthly for people that qualify for those services. And if you were a part of SNAP, Medicaid, federal housing assistance, lunch programs, breakfast programs, you could get up to $30 of your telecommunication bill paid. So we started a program called the Spectrum Internet 100. And we priced it at $29.99, which meant the government will pay for your service. And I want to give you, anybody that wants to get involved, you can go to fcc.gov/ACP. Now that will let you know where you can get qualified. And if you can get qualified there, then you can call 1-877-959-1748 to apply for the credit, which means we'll bill you, then the government will pay for it. So we priced that at $29.95 because the government said we give you up to $30. Okay, you can pay for it. So for most people, that's going to turn out to be a free service if you qualify for that. So that's basically what I wanted. And I know in the city of Birmingham, we have a lot of people that will qualify. So I want to make sure you tell all your constituents that is available there. We'll continue to do things to support the World Games like everybody else is. We have hardened our network. Any spots around that we provide any kind of public Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi to businesses, restaurants, small businesses, things of that nature. We're making sure that those things are in place and they're solid. And as I tell everybody, I'm glad to find new participants in this area. Our network is an old network, but it still works well. And we still have gig service available. And if anyone has any question about the services available, our customer service numbers are available, and they'll be glad to help you in the way they can, okay? That's it. Understand the questions.
Thank you. I do know I have one question. Dr. O'Quinn may have another. I just want to ask for this program. You did say, do you have to be on, you said WIC and SNAP and others. Can you be on programs or not on those programs and call in to just see if you qualify? Or is there a level of income that you need to be on? You'll be able to see all that. Well, thank you. This is, I know, a phenomenal help for a lot of families. I know during the pandemic, we know I just couldn't have imagined being at home all day trying to educate your child and doing that with, Zoom or in need of cable service. So we are appreciative that have this opportunity. I just want to ask the question because I know when we went up for National League of Cities meetings, we were updated on what federal government was doing and how they were trying to, with Biden's programs, trying to bring more broadband access and upgrade certain areas. And often we think of most of that work, we were told, was sort of rural. And so we think, though, that Birmingham still has those spots where we still need broadband and we need to extend that Wi-Fi. So do you know how that would affect what your company is trying to do for areas like the city of Birmingham, or if there are any opportunities there?
Every area of the city of Birmingham should be wired. There should be no area within the city of Birmingham that does not have service. And as I said, we have an old network. The city of Birmingham has been wired for 40, 50 years. What we do every year is improve that, whether it's new power pack, whether it's new amplifiers, but there is no address in Jefferson County, basically, that does not have access to Spectrum service.
Ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you. We do appreciate you again. I think very informative, this program that we know can be available to our residents. Any other comments or questions? Yes, Ms.
I just have an answer for Dr. O'Quinn about the 5G release. Yes, for the World Games, we will have 5G turned on for our macro sites. We have many small cells that are all placed around the different facilities, downtown, the restaurants, the hotels. We are still waiting for an agreement with a local provider for use of their poles in order to deploy that. So that is our only hiccup right now. So we're waiting on the timing of that. So I know that we've been working on that for about 6 months, and we're ready when they're ready.
Thank you all very much. We do appreciate these updates, and we thank you for your participation today. If I could get a motion for adjournment, I think we'll do it unless you have some other comments.
Just one thing, just for you and me, really. I do want to encourage traffic engineering to be here at future meetings because in the past, Zeke Willis has attended the meetings, and he's, responsible for keeping track of, the permitting for digs and things like that. And you and I both know how important that is to our constituents. So we definitely need their, that link of communication. So future meetings, we need to get them here.
We'll do that. I believe that our previous member of that team has retired, and so, but we will send that update and request to administration. I know Ryan was here earlier, but we'll be sure to get that over to the mayor's team and ask for that representation. Very good. Thank you. All right, so we got that adjournment? Yes. Second, all in favor, aye. Thank you all very much. We're adjourned.